Sagittarius 20, men cutting through the ice. It's not a very mysterious message, this one. When you've got a lot, save some for later. Our surpluses now are not fully appreciated by somebody who doesn't understand the risk of lack in the future. So it's basically about putting away something for a rainy day, making sure you have savings. And on one level, it has to do with money and food and practical things on that survival level of life, or at least comfort. But we're really talking about survival, that we don't know what's in the future. You have to put aside money now for what's in the future. Your pension isn't necessarily going to come to you from a rich and strong government. You have to think about taking care of your own future requirements. And there was a time, of course, when families would do this. And in fact, part of the reason for the vast population in India is that they don't have a pension scheme, or they didn't. And so they would have to have children who grow up to take care of their parents when the parents are too old to take care of themselves. So this symbol is quite hard in a way. It's asking us the question, can we cope with life? Life is hard and risky. There is no guarantee of survival, protection from being in harm's way, hunger. Can we cope with that? How do we cope with that? We practice good husbandry. We get on top of life. We in the modern era, we make sure that what we buy is worth buying. We don't waste money. We put it away, and we live in such a way that should hard times come, it's not such a big move for us to hunker down, to take care of the necessary things and nothing more. And that training is evolutionary. Life on Earth is as hard as it gets. On the other planes of existence, it's not so hard. Physicality is very demanding indeed. And on some level, we have chosen to incarnate in order to experience that. So, although the secret in life, if you get on top of it and you understand how to live well, the secret of the earth plane is abundance. But if we don't know how to do everything that we are challenged with, we don't experience abundance. We experience lack. We experience restriction, constraint. These are not appropriate states of being in which the soul likes to live. The soul wants to know that it's free to live in abundance. So you have this conflict arising where one part of us knows that we're free to have anything we want, godlike. Another part of us is more earthy, more grounded, more realistic, and we're saying, look, life's hard. You've got to put up with a little bit of suffering. You've got to learn to cope. Now, we mature by somehow finding an equation between those two things. A balance needs to be found. And when we found that balance, we find that the soul does not make any compromises. It cannot. It will not. But the ego must. And the ego says, yes, okay, I must do this work now. I must go to work on a Monday morning and get my pay because, and the soul can actually find a way to be okay with that constraint by seeing the bigger picture. So on a Monday morning, when you really don't want to get up and go to work, try and get in a soul consciousness. You're doing this for a reason, and the reason is measured in terms larger than one day. The reason is measured in lifetime. Through this behavior, I will develop the certainty that I can cope with life and have faith that whatever life throws up, I can deal with it. Now that faith It's gold dust. It's absolutely precious, and it cannot be given. It has to be earned, and it's earned by doing the right thing and finding a way to get on top of life. Now, of course, if you do manage to get yourself on top of life, you avoid disappointment. Basically, that's what it means. You don't get required by the Inland Revenue or your spouse or your children or anyone or your boss to do something that really you really don't want to do. It doesn't happen. You get on top of life, and so you work out the best way to avoid disappointment. Now, part of the reason that we must avoid disappointment is because it's dispiriting. It sucks us of enthusiasm. We lack the confidence to go ahead and try things out. We lose creativity. We become dull and predictable and habitual. That's what happens if we start to expect to be disappointed. So we must avoid disappointment. And we do that two ways to avoid disappointment. One is to have no expectation. Disappointment is a result of expectation failing. That's what it is. But we can also avoid disappointment by guarding against eventualities that probably will occur, so that we've got an insurance policy in some ways against the kind of things that might happen. There's certain things that we cannot do. For example, we love our kids, and we would be disappointed if they suffered. We love the wife or the husband, and we would be sad if they got hurt. So that level of disappointment is inevitable when we invest our emotional commitment to a person. But we don't have to be disappointed because our career goes in the wrong direction. Our career goes bad on us. That doesn't have to be a disappointment. If we've got a plan B. Now, a plan B is not meant to be focused on. It's just like almost ill-defined knowledge that we have the faith to know that we can cope. If I don't manage to do that, then this will work. That's plan B. But if we have a plan B and guard against the future that could go wrong, then we can avoid disappointment, usually.